A serious outbreak of COVID-19 has sparked a new, hard, lockdown in Australia's second-largest city, Melbourne, amid a scandal over quarantine and security breaches at hotels. From midnight on Wednesday, the city of Melbourne will return to strict lockdown for a 6-week period, the state premier Daniel Andrews announced Tuesday. So too will regional Mitchellshire just north of the city fringe. The southeastern state of Victoria has been experiencing an alarming spike in COVID infections. Something which is largely put down to serious infection control breaches in the hotel quarantine system. The lockdown comes after 200 cases were recorded in 24 hours. The worst since the country's onset of the pandemic. As the outbreak intensifies, the state has recorded a double-digit rise in daily cases for 22 consecutive days since around mid-June. There are now 772 active cases from a national total of 839. That's up from 60 a month ago, according to 7 News. Melbourne's quarantine hotels have been identified as a major source of the virus escalation. Since the Australia travel ban came into force in March, all travellers returning from overseas must self-isolate for 14 days in their hotel rooms. Somehow this virus escaped. It looks like it all came from one hotel, and a few security guards having a good time, said the ABC's chief political correspondent, Laura Tingle. It's obviously now escaped hugely, Tingle told Late Night Live host Philip Adams. The finger is being pointed at private security contractors involved in Victoria's hotel quarantine system. The state leader has launched a $3 million judicial inquiry into the bungled quarantine program, as The Age puts it, particularly into the role of security guards in infection control breach. 3 firms were initially assigned to the job. Some of the quarantine contracts were subcontracted to smaller operators, a practice that drives down wages and muddles responsibility. All those guards are under gag orders, though one has broken that to speak out. The virus containment method, which was the envy of the world just a few weeks ago, was within 24 hours, brutally exposed, notes news.com.au. 31 cases stem from the biggest hotel outbreak at a 5-star luxury hotel in Melbourne, the Australian reports. That number continues to grow. Positive COVID tests taken during quarantine include security guards and a household contact of a confirmed case. Security staff and quarantine hotel insiders claim hotel guards slept with guests during quarantine, the newspaper says. And that security personnel wore personal protective equipment for up to 8 hours without changing it. Guards shook hands and shared lifts, some had just 6 hours of infection control training, some were caught sleeping on the job, and quarantined families were allowed to go between rooms to play cards and games. The revelations were first made to Melbourne newspaper The Herald Sun.